Hey guys, it's Serena. 안녕하세요. Welcome back to Fantastic Korean Dishes, where we cook up simple and delicious Korean meals. Today we're going to be making bossam. Bossam is one of my favorite dishes. It's basically a boiled pork that's subtly flavored. It's so delicious, so healthy, and you can eat it with some side dishes, but one that cannot be taken out is moussing or spicy radish kimchi. It is so good. So we're going to be making bossam as well as moussing. I'm going to teach you all my tips and tricks to make it so it's really, really delicious. Okay, if you're ready, let's get cooking. So there are so many variations and so many different recipes for bossam, and one of the variations is also in the type of pork or the type of cut that you use of pork. You can use 목살, which is the pork neck, or the 앞다리, which is like the front leg, those are common cuts. But my favorite has to be pork belly, and it is probably a favorite of a lot of Koreans. It's so tender and so juicy and so delicious. So today I'm going to be using pork belly. Here we have about 800 grams, and just went to the butchers and asked them for 800 grams cut lengthwise like this, okay? Before we do that, we're going to just add a little bit of vegetable umami all over the pork, just to give it a nice flavor. So I'm just going to put 2 teaspoons of vegetable umami. Okay, today I'm going to be using a plastic glove, but you can totally just use your hands. Today I just feel like using plastic gloves. I don't feel like getting my hands messy today, but we're actually going to spread it all over on all sides. So I'm just going to rub the vegetable umami into the meat, turn it over on all sides. There's some on the tray, so I'm going to rub that in, the other side as well. Okay, so vegetable umami is going to add in a little bit of saltiness, but add in more of that umami flavor. It's very savory, that deep flavor that you get from broth. So let's take this to the stovetop. Okay, so we are going to put the meat into the pan. I'm going to start with the skin part first, actually, because there's a lot of oil there, a lot of fat. Now the reason we're frying it is so that the process of frying it actually helps to retain the shape of the meat. So once you put it in the pot, it won't be like flimsy or bend or shift at all. So this is going to help retain its shape. Okay, we're going to turn it to the side, and the color should be nice and golden brown. And I'm going to keep the heat at high heat. And I also think that by doing this, it also gives the bossam a beautiful color, and it also gets rid of a lot of the gamey flavor. So this step just makes bossam so much more delicious. So I highly recommend you do this step if you can. And you'll see when you do this, a lot of the oil is starting to drain. Super easy. And I'm going to kind of do it on the tips as well. Okay, good. So here we have a big pot, 4 liters of water, but you can use around 3 to 4 liters as long as it covers all the solid ingredients, especially the meat. So first we're going to put in our ssamjang. We're going to put in 3 tablespoons straight into the boiling water. You can use doenjang, but I find that using ssamjang is a little bit better just because ssamjang contains like mustard powder, garlic, and also ginger. So it really helps, again, with just getting rid of that gamey flavor. All right, now we're going to put in our pork belly straight in. Just make sure you put it in nice and gently, otherwise hot water splattering everywhere. All right, now we're going to put in all of our wonderful ingredients that are going to add to the flavor of the bossam. We're going to put in our Asian leek that's just been cut in half. I'm going to put in our onion, or half an onion. And I have 5 cloves of garlic. I'm going to put in 2 dried bay leaves, and then of course our whole pepper seeds, but ground pepper is fine too. So total cooking time is about 55 minutes to an hour. We're going to bring it to a nice boil, leave it on high heat for 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes we're going to bring it to medium heat for about 25 minutes, and in the last 15 minutes we're going to bring it down to low heat and then also put the lid on top. So while this is cooking for about an hour, we're going to go prepare our moussing chae. So to make moussing chae, we obviously need mu, or also known as Korean radish. Here we have a big one. So as you can see, there's a beautiful green color inside. This is very sweet, but it has less moisture. I'm actually going to be using a cotton glove just in case, because you just want to play it safe, right? Especially when the radish starts to get smaller and smaller. So we're just going to put it on the side. I'm going to start like this actually. Give it a nice push. Okay, then you'll end up with nice thin slices like this. Always be very careful whenever you're handling a mandolin slicer. Okay, you want a nice big bowl like this, because we're actually going to let the radish sit for about 30 minutes, and it's going to create a lot of water. So we're going to put in 1 cup of corn syrup or a sweetener of your choice. If you use sugar, you're definitely going to use a lot less. So here I'm just going to fill up this cup. So corn syrup is going to add the sweetness, but it's also going to give it a nice, beautiful glazed look. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of salt. Today I'm using a coarse sea salt, and the salt is what is really going to help drain the water out of the radish. I'm going to use a plastic glove. You don't have to though, you can use chopsticks or your hands. And we're going to give it a nice toss just to make sure all the corn syrup and salt is mixed in well together. Okay, so everything is mixed well together. I'm actually going to let it sit for about 30 minutes and then we'll get back to it. So it's been about 30 minutes and look how much water has come out of this. I'm just going to pour in my radish into the cheesecloth or the nut milk bag, whatever you like to call it. Oh, okay. And then we're just going to squeeze as hard as we can to get all of the water out. The more water you get out, the better tasting it's going to be. Okay, so we are going to add in a few green onions. Here I have 5 stems. And just the thick part of the green onions, I'm going to slice down the middle lengthwise. And then we're going to chop them into about pinky length pieces, maybe about 4 or 5 centimeters in length, and add in the green onions. And now we're going to make our seasoning. So for our seasoning, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of red pepper flakes. We're going to add in 2 teaspoons of vegetable umami. This is going to add that salty, deep flavor. Next, we're going to need 1 teaspoon of sesame seed oil and 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds. And lastly, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. And using my plastic gloves again, I'm going to mix everything together. So it looks really good, but it doesn't have enough red color. So we're going to add in another tablespoon of red pepper flakes. And to add in a little bit of sweetness, we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of corn syrup or perilla. So we're aiming for a nice spicy and slightly sweet flavor. And give it a taste. You can hear the crunchiness, right? So crunchy, so chewy. this is all done. Let's head over and check up on our bossam. So I've been letting it cook for roughly about 45 minutes. And it's been cooking on medium heat. I'm going to bring it down to low heat. And we're going to close the lid and let that cook for another 15 minutes. So it's been about an hour. Let's take a look at our bossam. Oh my gosh, that color is beautiful. That looks amazing. So I have a good grip on all sides, just like this. Wow, that looks beautiful. Okay, let's go plate this. You want to use a nice sharp knife and just be nice and gentle. You never want to be doing this when you're feeling like you're in a rush. Got to be patient with yourself, especially if you're cutting nice thin slices. And I can feel with my knife how tender it is. All done. So I'm gonna plate my veggies right here. And then we're gonna put our moussing chae right over here. Now we're gonna put on our bossam. And you might want to slant it a little bit so it layers up nicely on the plate. I'm just gonna dig in right now because I'm hungry. Should we try some greens today? So I'm gonna take a piece of kale, piece of bossam, add a little bit of moussing chae. And here you can actually add in a few other things like raw garlic cloves. So we're gonna wrap this up. Let's give it a try. Wow. That is so good. Oh my goodness. So you've got that tender pork. You've got the fresh kale. It's nice and crunchy and fresh. And then a bit of moussing chae. And that just adds so much flavor to the ssam. This is incredible. It is so good. You have to try it out at home. Bossam is one of those dishes that looks so impressive, but in actuality, it's quite easy to make. It's really a lot of waiting time in between, but really it's super easy and it's so delicious. And I highly recommend you try making the moussing chae along with it. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back with more fantastic recipes. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.